Hey everyone, Shadow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So I'm sure most of you have already heard, and for those of you who have not, we have a lot of Alliance War changes coming, some big ones, and that is going to be in the 15.0 update. I also saw some bug fixes as well, but what we're going to do is we're going to go through these notes here that Kabam Mike has posted in the forums, and I will give you some of my thoughts on the changes. Alright, so the first big change is a brand new map. Says this is definitely the biggest change coming to Alliance Wars. The new map takes advantage of many new developments that have been made in the contest lately and offers summoners more freedom than they are used to in Alliance Wars. Here's a quick rundown. Portals have been added to the Alliance Wars maps. One of our goals with the new map was to give summoners greater control over their movement in Alliance Wars, and portals help to do just that. Portals will allow summoners to move around the map more freely, allowing you to help out Alliance mates that are in trouble. Or to move away from a section that you weren't totally prepared for. Now, I find that interesting. We'll know more when we see how the portals are set up. Now this sounds quite interesting. I can think of some new strategies that will emerge because of these portals. When I first read it, I was, kind of skeptical because I was not a fan of portals in some of the questing and the way they did it. But here, it may work. So, like right now, it's easy for somebody to run into an opponent that they can't handle, either because they lack the skill against that particular opponent, or they don't have the champions that would make the fight easier. So what would happen is they would either throw all their champions at this opponent hoping to get it down, or they would sit there and wait until somebody came to help. But the person that comes to help them is now a resource that can't be used anywhere else. They are now locked into that path, or at least that section. So this seems like a good change, tentatively. We'll see what they do. Alright, a bigger map, less linked nodes, and shorter energy refresh timers. Everything in there I like. Okay, the new map is roughly 1.5 times larger than the previous map, but now features 60-minute energy timers, just like Alliance quests. Of course, we're hoping to get even less than 60 minutes for Alliance quests, but anyway, we've also reduced the amount of linked nodes that you'll be encountering. Our goal with this change was to increase the amount of fights you'll be able to participate in before waiting for an Alliance mate to unblock your path. I like that. I really like that. Alright, points for exploration have been reduced from 450 per node to 300 per node, so as to be roughly equal to before. Okay? Changing the status quo. Up to now, you've probably gotten pretty used to finding the more manageable fights towards the center of the map, with the more difficult fights occurring towards the outer edges of the map, but not anymore. Now you'll find that the further from the center of the map you are, the easier the buffs and nodes become. Additionally, the closer you get to the boss, the more difficult the skirmishes will become. You'll also find that instead of clearing the center lanes first, to open up the outer lanes, you'll now want to clear the outer lanes or the outer nodes before attempting to fight the tougher fights in the center. Okay, that seems pretty interesting and should bring everybody together. Tentatively, again, this seems like a pretty interesting change. Alright, more mini bosses. We're upping the amount of mini bosses. Get ready to face off against 5 mini bosses before you want to start your fight against the boss. Now that's going to be interesting indeed. Honestly, 3 mini bosses or 5 mini bosses, I don't really see that big of a difference, especially given the reduced timers and the less linked nodes and the portals. I don't think that's going to be a major issue there. Alright, new buffs. Another goal we had with this new map was to play up champion archetypes. So be ready for more nodes like enhanced poison and enhanced energy damage This should also help to increase the diversity of champions that you encounter on the map. Now I have a little bit to say about that. I'm not a huge fan of those types of nodes, and I don't think that it's going to do what they're saying, but that depends on exactly how this is implemented. Okay, right now any node that has enhanced poison or enhanced energy damage, if you know that that's the node, like an enhanced poison node, if you've looked at my Alliance War strategy guide earlier on this channel, and of course it's going to now have to be completely redone, I mentioned that a node that has enhanced poison, you're going to bring a champion that's poison immune. So why even bother with that node? So I'm not sure that's going to really be helpful in increasing the diversity of the champions. And the energy damage, the only thing I want to know is, does that affect Magic's limbo? Because if that enhances her limbo damage, I will absolutely hate that new buff. She does not need any help with her limbo. I'll tell you that right now, because it's already annoying. I am not a fan of damage that you take and can't avoid and can't really skill yourself around. Alright, we've also simplified some buffs and added them together. Instead of one node featuring a 50% champion boost as well as a 100% champion boost, these will be combined into a singular 150% champion boost. Now, when I was making the video for the Alliance War strategy guide, I noticed that they did this, and I wondered why they did not combine them. That seemed really silly to me. I could only imagine that there's some sort of internal structure that made that easier to do. But if I was coding that particular piece, I would have had it done this way a long time ago. Alright, goodbye to some old nodes. This is one that we know many of you have been waiting to hear. We've removed all instances of thorns and slash tires across every difficulty level. Thank you. Thank you, Kabam. Thank you. As I said, I am not a fan of unavoidable damage. Thorns, I hated it with a passion. You know, yes, we had Black Widow that was able to counter that, but then they nerfed her. But this makes that nerf a whole lot better. But I have heard that there is a synergy with Doc Ock and Ant-Man that will give a similar effect. So, but I'm okay with that, actually. Alright, slash tires, you could actually play around that, just play aggressively, so I didn't have as big of a problem with that one as I did with thorns. Alright, more information to help make decisions. To give summoners the ability to make better informed decisions on what paths they'll be taking and who they'll be matched up against, we're cutting down on what information is hidden about potential opponents. Now, even on the most difficult levels of Alliance Wars, you will always at least be able to see the class of the opponents you'll be facing. Now, I find that very interesting. They basically neutered the masteries that allows you to do just that. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do to compensate for those masteries. Are they just going to remove them completely? Are they going to change them? Time will tell. But I like this change. This is, I think, a good change. Do you guys remember the bug that had you that allowed you to see the tags? I knew that was a bug. A lot of people didn't realize it was a bug, but you were able to match up and see exactly, you could figure out exactly who you would be facing. And I knew that wasn't intended. It couldn't be. Okay. Skirmish rewards. Introducing skirmish rewards. After completing an Alliance War, you'll receive an in-game mail message that includes the stats for all of your Alliance mates with their performance in that war, and a small chunk of gold for each kill earned by an attacker or defender. Oh boy. So all of you slackers that, you know, just want to get by, or you run and you die very quickly on the first boss and you never kill anybody, now your shame will be there for everyone to see. Well, that's an incentive. Alright, changes to scoring methods. Now this is going to be interesting because this affects, basically your strategy in winning the Alliance War. As we said above, one of our major goals with this iteration of Alliance Wars was to promote a wider cast of defenders that you'll encounter, instead of the same champions over and over again. In addition to promoting this with the new nodes that will boost certain attributes like energy damage or bleed, we're introducing a brand new way to earn points in Alliance Wars. Introducing Defender Diversity Points. Defender Diversity Points are awarded to alliances for bringing in unique champions as defenders. You will be awarded a small amount of points for each unique champion your alliance places as a defender across all your battle groups. Remember, this isn't just for every battle group. All of your battle groups are counted. Remember, a 4-star Hulk and a 5-star Hulk both count as the Hulk and are not unique. This scoring system will not award large amounts of points and will act more as a tiebreaker than a game changer. Okay, so if it's not going to add a whole lot of points and it's only going to matter in these close games, we're going to just continue business as usual and bring our best champions to Alliance War anyway. Alright, that's not all though. We're also making a major change to a scoring method that you're all used to. We're now removing points received for defender kills and increasing the points received for attacker kills. The goal of this change was to encourage summoners to continue their assault on the opposing alliance without having to worry about giving them more points, and to avoid the feeling of defeat after only trying one fight and being beaten. Okay, straight up, I am not a fan of this change at all. This gives Wallet Warriors even more of an incentive to continue to spend money. So what I'm seeing here is a money grab. They are catering to those who spend money to win their wars. Okay, that's all that I'm seeing there. That's not going to change my alliance. We will fight. If we can win without spending, great. If we can't, oh well. We will see how bad this becomes. But we already fought some Wallet Warriors and we lost by a very small margin. And we would have won if we had enough defenders. We were actually short 2 people that war. But with this change, they will just railroad. They'll just be able to spend as much as they want, and whoever has the bigger pockets is going to win. I guess that is what they want to do. I'm not a fan of that change at all. You guys leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about that. But currently, not a fan at all. And I think that's going to make Alliance War a lot less fun. But possibly more lucrative for them. So I guess that is what they wanted to do. Okay, and then they end it and say, you'll still want to make sure you're bringing in your best defenders though, as now wins and losses can hinge on exploration, and you want to stop your opposition from exploring as much of the map as possible. Yeah, right. Okay, so we were already going to bring our best defenders. If they're going to be enhancing energy, then you're going to still encounter magics all over the place, just like you're doing now. You're still going to encounter a lot of the Mystic Champions. I don't know. Their stated goals and what I'm seeing them doing to try to promote those goals, I'm seeing a disparity between those two things. I think they could have achieved that goal by addressing certain issues instead. The reason you see a lot of the Mystic Champions is because of Mystic Dispersion. And Mystic Dispersion, while I love it, it needs to be fixed. And one of the major changes that need to be made is how it interacts with dexterity. They do not need to get all of that power from the dexterity buff. I mean, that's just, I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. So that needs to be addressed. And then you may see a diversity like they said. But what they're doing here, I don't think that's going to do what they are saying they hope it will do. Now, I'm a programmer, so I can understand that sometimes a change like this is easier than addressing the character and the root of the problem, because that may open up a large can of worms that they don't want to open right now. So time will tell. You know, this is not the end, and we'll see where they go from there. Alright, next, never forget you're an MVP. In addition to the stats that you're already using, that you're already used to seeing in your summoner profile, you'll now also have a running tally of how many times you've been an MVP in Alliance Wars. This is a brand new stat, and all players will start at 0 upon the launch of 15.0. Okay, new stat, you know, not a big deal. New boosts in the loyalty store. In addition to all the changes we're making to Alliance War, we're also introducing some new Alliance War boosts in the loyalty store. These 3 boosts are only active for 3 minutes and are only able to be used in Alliance Wars. They are also not a permanent addition to the loyalty store and will only be available at random. Okay, so the 3 are Advanced Power Boost, Combat Regeneration Boost, and Invulnerability Boost. The Advanced Power Boost, it'll allow you to start a fight with 1 bar of power already stored. That is interesting and can introduce some very interesting strategies. Certain champions that may not have been viable before may be viable now, because you'll start with 1 bar of power and be able to get to your second bar of power much faster. So like power control champions, that sort of thing. This seems interesting. Combat Regeneration Boost. This boost allows your champion to start the fight with a regeneration buff that will grant you 15% of your maximum health over 20 seconds. This regeneration buff cannot be nullified, but is still affected by heal block nodes and abilities. This is a passive regeneration that is not affected by masteries or abilities that would extend the length or potency of the regeneration, i.e. Recovery or Dr. Voodoo's signature ability. Okay, so with this boost, everybody becomes, I guess, a Dr. Voodoo, where they will get a regeneration, a passive regeneration, and it cannot be nullified. So that has the potential to help out. Like if you have a champion that is down, is hurt, and just needs to be topped off, that can help. If you fight very aggressively in the beginning, this can help you out as well. So it's interesting. That's interesting. I like this boost. I like the power boost as well. Invulnerability boost. So just like it says, this boost will allow your champion to take no damage from the first 3 hits they receive in a fight. That's interesting. That's going to be huge. 3 fights, and it says remember special 3 attacks only count as 1 hit. So that means if you're really good and you're just pouring on the damage, this can help you take 3 special 3 attacks. Now, one of the things that made Gwenpool so powerful is that she couldn't die to a special attack. However, she still takes damage. So this is actually even better. Now, what I'm interested is that if you take an attack and it has a bleed effect or a poison effect or something like that, how does that interact with that? Do you not take any damage on the initial hit, but you still take the bleed damage or any other secondary effects? Time will tell. Should be interesting. Alright, additionally, we're bumping up the potency of boosts that you're already used to seeing in the loyalty store, like class-specific specials and power boosts. Alright, so that is interesting. Overall, I like it. I've already told you the one that I do not like. I am definitely not a fan at all of removing the points and the defender kills like that. That is definitely catering towards the wallet warriors, and so not a fan at all. But I do understand it from a business perspective, and in the end, Kabam is a business. So I do understand that aspect of it. Alright, so that's going to do it. You can see here Kabam Mike just basically ran over and did a quick summary. You guys can read that here. Alright, for the Alliance Quest series running from Sunday, August 27th until Thursday, August 31st, there will be 0 cost to run any of the maps, and Alliance Quest energy will refresh every 30 minutes. That's pretty cool. They did something similar, if I remember correctly, the last time they made some major changes. Additionally, all quests in Act 4 will have their energy cost temporarily reduced from 3 energy per step to 2 energy per step from August 28th at 10 a.m. until September 6th at 10 a.m. PDT. Now, I really like that. The reason I do is because I'm currently going through Act 4 trying to 100% complete it, and it is so long. And I've been just buying up the energy refills left and right. And I'm starting from the last chapter and working my way backwards. And I have only 1 chapter left to 100% complete. So I'm still going to continue to use up, my energy for the events and that sort of thing. So I'm probably going to wait until August 28th. It's not that far, 5 days, and then I'm going to pour it on and just start cranking it out. But anyway, that's going to do it, guys. If you liked the video, found it informative, please consider clicking like. If you haven't subscribed already to me, please consider giving me a subscription. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about these changes. And you guys have a blessed day.